If you enjoy this podcast, then be sure to check out Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, where you can get your daily dose of farm wisdom. Tune in every day to learn the latest tips, tricks, and stories from the world of farming. Whether you're a seasoned farmer or just getting started, our podcast has something for everyone. Join us as we explore topics like farm business, crop planning, soil management, and tools and technology. Start your day off right with Farm Small, Farm Smart Daily, available on all major podcast platforms. Don't miss out. Subscribe today.
I am curious though, how does scalability with that work? With me, obviously I'm somewhat limited in the fact that like there's only going to be so many people that come through the farmers market. I can sort of market our farm at the market and to potential market customers, by building our social media. I can you can do that sort of thing, but it's more about like you have a sheer number of people that you're going to get in front of. And so you potentially may hit some sort of a cap at some point that, this is the most we can effectively make at a farmer's market. But with something like this, is there plenty of room to grow? Is it more of you just kind of have to just keep throwing more at it, and if sales go up, then you just kind of keep doing that, or is there a more active way of being able to say like, all right, hey, store manager, we're planning on expanding. We want to be able to offer 25% more with, 6 new varieties next year. Do you have the room for that? Are we able to scale to that?
It's challenging. I've got a really strong relationship with the manager there, so it's good. I always discuss with her. I'm always every time I go in to drop stuff off, I'm watching to see what else is there. I'm always trying to keep tabs on what the inventory is in this market aside from my own produce to see where there's gaps that I could fill of something that maybe I'm not producing that somebody else is, but they're not producing enough to meet market demand. One example of that would be like radishes. I think in the spring they sold like 1,000 pounds of radishes through that market. And it's not a crop that I grow. It's challenging for me because of pest issues. Flea beetles just come in and eat them up.
Oh man.
And I'm not even going to try anymore because being right next to a canola field, it's full of flea beetles and they just move in and clean up my radishes in a day and there's nothing left. So I've given up on all brassicas, no cabbage, no nothing.
Oh man, that's such a shame because I know those would probably do so well
Oh, they
in
would,
your area.
especially radishes. They like you can net, and I netted a couple of years ago, but it's just too much to manage right now. For me, I need to focus on the crops that are doing well, that there is room to expand those crops. But back to scaling up, mm, it it in the bulk of the season, maybe not so much. For me, where the scalability is to have season extension. So that's I have plans. I've been working on a business plan here actually to borrow some money to invest in these things, but it to extend the season, I'm looking at low tunnels for early season. There's lots of different ways. Now, I have to be really on my game. This year and last year, I tried doing some double cropping. So I had peas in super early, followed by radishes late, which actually successfully this fall, I planted radishes like August 1st and was still able to pull a crop. So now off that bed, I have 2 crops, but that's where the scalability exists, is to extend the season. Now, at this market, like of all my sales this season, probably 80+% of my sales happened over a period of 6 weeks. Um,
Wow.
yeah, so it's pretty condensed. The total selling season that I had was 11 weeks. Outside of 11 weeks, I didn't sell anything. So from my first sale to my last sale was 11 weeks. And that's it based on the growing season that we have here. But I can extend that with a walk-in cooler. I can extend that with crop protection at the beginnings of the season, end of the season. And another big one, finding finding varieties that grow that are shorter, days to maturity. Another thing I want to try next year is actually soaking my pea seed for a few days to hopefully shorten the germination emergence timeline and get them out of the ground, hopefully even 3 days sooner, something like that. So there's lots of different things, but it's challenging to play with them and find how they work. And like, I'll give you an example. This year, I mentioned to you in an email, I picked 900 pounds of green bean. Well, not green
Yeah.
bean, combined green.
I'm not jealous of you for that one bit.
You know what? That crop makes up 25% of my gross revenue.
Holy smokes, man.
Oh, it's wild. And people come in looking for those beans. Like they're bugging me what variety is. I don't want to share it. They're such a beautiful bean. Um, but how I manage that one, and I plan to expand that next year, I'm going to possibly pick more, but spread out over a longer period. I started doing succession plantings. I have the spacing. So this year I planted 12 beds of green beans over 5 weeks. I did 2 beds every week, and I was yielding approximately 100 pounds per bed. Now, that's where in this area we run into issues with the growing season. I started April 22nd, my first planting, and then I waited 2 weeks just because it's so early. And then I started doing it every week. And we got into May, end of May, and we had a cool week. And one of my plantings just kind of sat there, and the next one after that caught up. So then when it came time in July, I all of a sudden had 4 beds of beans that were ready to be picked. And I had to walk away from 2 of them. So I had
Oh, man.
probably over 200 pounds of green beans in the field that I just walked away from because I couldn't get them in time. So like those are the challenges of scaling and extending the season and trying to push it that you have to try and figure out, right?
Hello, growers. Protect your crops from harmful insects with Modern Growers Insectanet. This top-tier insect netting made by Modern Grower shields your plants from pests and harsh weather, boosting your yields without harmful sprays. Insectanet's unique design allows 90% of the light to pass through and is easy to use with low tunnel systems like our Quick Hoops. It's soft, elastic, and durable, perfect for field use to help ensure that your crops thrive. Say goodbye to pest damage and hello to healthier, market-ready produce. Invest in Insectanet and see the difference it makes. Get Insectanet at shop.moderngrower.co or using the link below.